Thank you, Chairman and members of the Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee, for taking the time to be here this morning to hear my remarks on House Resolution 437. On July 16th, we watched as another tragedy befell our nation as 5 service members were attacked by a lone gunman in a Navy Operational Support Center and Marine Corps Reserve Center in Chattanooga, Tennessee. These heroes were proud to serve our country when called upon, yet they were unable to defend themselves right here at home. So I bring this forward because this is an outdated Department of Defense policy which left these highly qualified men unarmed. By the time police arrived and killed the intruder, it was too late. Lives were lost and tragedy had struck. Sergeant Carson Holmquist, Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Sullivan, Lance Corporal Squire K. Wells, Staff Sergeant David Wyatt, and Petty Officer Randall Smith had given their lives. These brave military personnel are trained to protect this country from enemies both foreign and domestic. Our world today is dynamic with threats everywhere. We need policies in place that reflect our current times. These policies of gun-free zones as it relates to our military personnel are dangerous, and tragedies like those that occurred in Chattanooga and at Fort Hood, Texas, might have been prevented if U.S. service members were allowed to carry firearms on bases and at military centers. Disarming our military and instituting gun-free zones at military facilities places targets on our men and women in uniform, leaving them vulnerable, and this must be addressed. This resolution urges the United States Congress and the Department of Defense to reconsider policies that do not allow our military personnel to arm and protect themselves while in the performance of their duties. I am proud to be here today to voice the concerns of Pennsylvanians that they have for the safety of our nation's heroes. I ask for an affirmative vote, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Representative White. Are there any comments or questions for Representative White? Anyone? Okay, Representative Barbin.
Representative White, thank you for bringing up the bill. I think it is long past due. The one question I had is, in Chattanooga and in Texas, the governor of the state has authorized the National Guard to patrol the recruiting centers, and they are armed. Do you have, what would be your comment to either a separate resolution or an amendment which would authorize our National Guard to use our guardsmen to protect the recruiting centers?
Sure. I think that that's a great first step that the governors had taken in those states. And, of course, in Pennsylvania, that would be something worth considering. Hopefully our governor would not be opposed to something of that nature. And but I think that in terms of this particular resolution, this is really for our federal government to reevaluate the policies that they have in place, and for us to get our armed forces the resources that they need to protect themselves on a daily basis.